What's up?
What's up? What's up? What's up?
What's happening, boys? How are your respective cities? We are in different cities, aren't we,
We
this
lit
time?
Now we literally are, except you and
We-
Mash.
No, Mash and I are in different cities.
Oh yeah, correct. That's true.
Uh,
Who?
is Mash there?
Yes, he's there.
So,
Yeah,
who's
I'm here. I'm
who's
here.
joining us from where?
My
Let's
Indian.
start from Mash.
Okay,
Mash,
I'm
where are
joining
you?
from
You're not
Manesar.
in Delhi?
Just no, yeah. I have a show going on. I'm at the place close to the border of Rajasthan.
Wow.
I
Okay.
am in
So now we
outskirts
So,
of
truly are.
Calcutta. Behind me is a big jungle.
Oh yeah.
Hmm, which
The
we can
funny
see.
part is, Skip, you are in Bengal and I'm doing the Durga Puja here.
interesting. So this means that it's my job to start
Yes.
spamming.
Hey Rohan, Jayesh, Pranil.
R- Rohan, I know Rohan has been going crazy, right?
Hmm. Yeah,
I know
yeah,
Rohan why you're here. He's yelling already in comments in caps.
yeah. I can see that.
Hey guys, how are you? Lasker, how are you? Long
Hey,
time.
Laskar.
Mash, mute,
Hi.
please.
Oh yes.
Ha. Okay, all right. So we have a lot of viewers joining us, and the number is only increasing. So let's start this without any delay. Greetings, welcome to this Beyond the Music talk. After 2 weeks, last week we held back because the monster of the product had been launched, the DGM S11 and S11 SE. But today we are not selling anything. We are not selling anyone as well. And today we have a super special guest, one you've been wanting to join us, and thanks to him, he said yes in no time, and our mind was blown. One of the easiest artists I have dealt with after so long because he just replies. He replies, and I'm so good. The communication was so nice, tension free, full power. So he's a
Yeah, that's
person
because
who
I was involved in between.
ah ओके सो निशांत ने कुछ नहीं किया and इसीलिए हम आगे शुरू करते हैं. Let's welcome join your hands together for NYK.
Hello guys, what's up?
What's
Welcome
up?
aboard, bro.
Thanks for having me. Thank you guys.
How are
Awesome.
you doing today?
So as a ritual,
What do you say?
we are going to start with the first question, which is always put up by.
Mr. Tui
Me,
Mehta.
I guess. Yeah, so bro, can you tell us like when did you start DJing? The kind of music you were playing then, the kind of gear that you were using, and sort of
Mhm.
like your journey that you took with your music and the gear, and when Pioneer came into your DJing career as such, and how things changed for you if it did.
Okay, those are a lot of questions at
Yeah, it's
once.
all kind of
So,
interlinked, but yeah.
yeah, so I
Basically,
started.
take us through the journey.
Okay, perfect. So I started DJing in 2004 professionally. So I learned in 2003 because I
Hmm.
passed out from school in 2012. So 2003 I learned, and then my first residency was in 2004, and then I did another residency in 2005 in Delhi. I used to
Okay.
play at Moits, and then I was playing in 2005 at Urban Pin. It was a small lounge
Okay.
kind of. Yeah. So I played a lot of different genres, uh, from acid jazz to psychedelic trance to progressive house. But I've always been a Bollywood lover, but I've
Hmm.
always been a big fan of the electronic music as well. So I've just been combining the two sounds as a producer. So I needed, when I was learning, when I was in school rather, I was producing music first, and then I got into DJing. So I needed a medium where I could share those remixes that I was producing back then. So DJing was that medium. So that's how I got into DJing. So 2 years of residency, 2004 and 2005, and then I got a call from Hong Kong in 2006. So they asked me if I'd like to perform in Hong Kong, and I was only 19 years old back then. So it was a very big opportunity for me. So in fact, my dad wasn't even allowing me to go because he said, "You're too young to go alone." So luck acha tha, one of my friends, he agreed that on his own expense, he's gonna come with me and support me.
Mhm.
So that's how my first
That's awesome.
international gig happened in 2006. Rohan, thank you. And फिर उसके बाद I start फिर Akil bhai was also supporting a lot of my remixes back then. So he was running one of the best clubs in India back then called Poison.
Poison.
So yeah, Poison. So he gave me an opportunity there. So I was just a resident DJ at a small club in Delhi, and he took me and gave me an opportunity to perform at the biggest club in India. So I was very nervous. Plus, everybody had heard my music and remixes, but nobody had seen me live. So the whole
Right.
artist community also was there in Mumbai to check me out. So I was very, very nervous that I'll be judged. A lot of people would be looking at me, and I wasn't flawless back then. I did a lot of mistakes. And yeah, so then uske baad things falling in place. I started touring different cities in India. Then after Mumbai, I went to Vizag, then Kolkata, Hyderabad. Then things just kept falling in place. So Harsh Bhutani Paji, wow, Harsh Bhutani ji is also tuned in. Hello Paji. So yeah, that's how the journey began. And then in 2009, I suppose, Pioneer approached me to be their official DJ in India, and they wanted me to endorse SPM 1000 and the DVJs. So that's how I got into video DJing. I had no plans to do visuals at all, but Anirban back then he pushed me ki tu kar isko. This is a new experience for the crowd who comes at the nightclub to synchronize your visuals with the audio that you're playing. So yes, so for about
Bro, you were
4
using
years I
DVDs
used
then?
SPM. Yeah, DVDs, yeah, DVJs and SPM 1000.
Okay.
So in
And
fact,
what format were the videos in that time? MP4?
sorry,
You're using MP4s or?
no, those were
No, bro.
MOVs as far as
MOVs.
MOVs.
MOVs, bro.
Yeah.
And they were like very expensive, some $3,000 for one piece, one pop.
What? The DVJs?
Yeah.
Yeah, very
Yeah.
expensive.
I got them for free. So
They were
So,
How was
very
the
yeah.
mixer? I've never used that mixer, man. What was
the
that mixer like?
mixer was I think one of the mixers that Pioneer made like maybe 15 years ahead of its time.
Yeah.
The kind of capability of the mixer.
correct. It was
And
the
it was
coolest
basically
mixer and the
the
heaviest as well.
IBM 2000.
Yeah. It
It
was a mixer that even like at that point video mixers didn't have the features that this one did.
And it was the
for
only
it to be
touchscreen mixer
yeah.
I think anyone had made. I'm not sure about the other brands.
No, there was nobody else with a
So-
touchscreen mixer like that.
So, Nick, you would tour with that mixer, or what was the scenario like?
Yeah, it was very challenging to tour with that gear because it was extremely heavy.
Yeah.
So
Huh.
custom
You
pehle
need
to
like a flight
flight
case
cases.
to that you could do?
Yeah, flight cases custom I had to get them done because किसी के
Yeah.
पास वो dimensions के होते ही नहीं थे. So yes, traveling with it was a challenge, but at the end, it was a very new experience for everybody wherever I toured and used that gear. Because there was no way to synchronize
I
your
remember
visuals
in
without a
2009,
VJ.
Right.
in
I want to
2009 he
ask,
came
what was
to
the
FR and
resolution
it
that
was
you were
just full
playing
of
around
luggage.
that time? Sorry.
Nishant.
Mash, please go ahead. Mash, go ahead.
No. I was just saying that in 2009 he came to play at FR and I remember he had
Correct.
more luggage than he could carry himself. We needed 2-3 guys to carry this luggage.
That was one of the first, I think, one of the first gigs I performed
that
at
was
SVM on SVM.
First gig, yeah.
So
That was
when
amazing,
you
man.
started DJing, what was the gear that you were using in the clubs or personally?
So I started with CDJ 100S.
Okay.
Yeah. I think I can relate because me and him started at the exact same time. So
Correct.
it was 100S only. Yeah.
100S
I think we
trend
are the
first
same
time. That was the
age also
industry
because
standard.
I passed school at the same year. So we might be the same age also.
Let's not reveal our ages.
What are you
But
saying?
it's
Everything is
such
on
a-
the internet. I even know date of birth.
ये बात भी ठीक है. That's also correct.
So yeah, speaking of which, you have played in, according to your website, I'm sure the number is bigger, 63 cities around the world. And
अगर वो update हुई है मेरी website, I don't know when was the last time it got updated. But yes, around 60.
So which has been your the best experience? Which experience is the one that could use some improvement?
It's a very tough question. Uh,
We ask very tough questions.
the best one would be when I performed at Dubai World Trade Center. That was one of the biggest shows that I
Wow.
played. So that was the
Beautiful.
most memorable. And the first show that I performed in Hong Kong is also memorable because that was the first time I
It was the
performed
first one, yeah.
internationally.
Right.
So yes, बाकी वैसे shows तो वैसे बहुत होते हैं where I feel I could have done better. Like I cannot
You
lie.
know when
If
I
somebody asks me how was the show, and I didn't perform to my capability, I would say यार नहीं था अच्छा, मजा नहीं आया. I cannot lie. I don't know. I have
no,
this habit. I
I
can
was
say
being
यार
very
फाड़ू,
nice.
kick-ass shows are bro.
मेरा question ये था, what was your worst gig, not the one where you performed the worst. I was being
Then
nice to
worst
the
gig in what
organizers.
sense? Worst gig in
You
what
know,
sense?
Very
Like not getting
experience,
like,
and
paid.
we had a really bad experience playing, and
hmm,
people were like, that kind of stuff. What's the
Ah,
worst? What's the worst gear situation you ever faced? I think that's a good
uh,
question.
yeah,
We
that's
face
a
a
yeah,
lot
good
of shit
question.
like that.
So that was a college festival in what was the city? I think somewhere in Gujarat. I'm
It's okay.
forgetting the
You
city.
should not name cities.
So yeah, उसका एक सीडीजे था उसमें उसका पूरा cover उठा के I had to put the CD. So the whole show was running
What?
on equipment like that. Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
I
wow.
think I even have the footage somewhere on my camcorder. उसका पूरा ऐसे सीडीजे का जो यूनिट होता है ऐसे ऊपर खोल के then I had to put the CD and then keep on doing like that. That's how I ran
Oh
the whole
wow.
show.
CDJ
That to a
project.
college festival, not even a club.
So we are getting
Wow.
questions, but हम ना थोड़े questions इकट्ठे कर लेते हैं, and after that we'll start asking them. I know about 100S. What was the next one after that?
100 के बाद CDJ 1000.
Yeah, I
Okay.
agree with that. Yeah.
उसके बाद
ठीक.
SVM 1000. Sorry, then DVJ 1000 of course.
Right. Awesome.
Right.
So Rohan has a question for you. Rohan, एक तो चिल्लाना बंद कर bro. Why are you like in all caps?
Okay,
He
so you
wants to
have
know
So
to
when your
Rohan
next
asked,
podcast is coming.
I'm working on it. In fact, next 10 days, that's the content that I'm working on. And then
hmm,
hopefully in the first week of November, we'll shoot it.
Bro, tell us the story.
I
What's the idea behind the podcast? Because you make like these killer videos of you playing and all. So what's the idea? Because I've seen, I think, two or three, not much, but they look like they're like heavily produced. Like there's a lot of thought that has gone into it. I think there was this one within in a yacht or something, like some water body, and you're
In
doing this.
Udaipur, yes, correct.
Yeah.
So it's
So
a
what
big
what
trend. Hmm.
what's the idea behind the whole thing? Like what gives you the inspiration, and where do you like what's all that like about?
Actually, I don't really sit and look for inspiration. Just inspiration itself, it comes to me. That's how, the creative side of things are. You don't really do anything. It just comes to
So,
you. So I
so,
was,
so you make the
I was
bits
perhaps
first, or you ideate the thing first? Like, how's the
I was just
process? Like you,
watching. I was just watching YouTube one day, and I came across a set. Uh, the two girls. I'm forgetting the name. It's very difficult to pronounce. They're into techno, I think, progressive techno, I think.
hmm.
So I saw their set, and they were performing outdoors.
Eli and Fur.
They were even playing the handpan, and
I think Eli
they
and
were
Fur.
Oh yeah, yeah, I think I have seen that one. Yeah, yeah. Hang drum.
yeah. So yeah, correct. So that's where I got the inspiration from, and so I thought, why not do something like this for Bollywood, and mix and match the
Okay.
progressive house side of things with Bollywood.
Hmm.
So that's how it happened. So I shot the first episode last year, almost 1 year back. That was October in Udaipur, and then the lockdown happened, so I couldn't shoot the second one. So second one, I released one in March, but without. It was just an audio set with some scenic visuals,
Hmm.
not live visuals. So yeah, so now I'm trying because things are getting better now. So let's hopefully, I think I'll be able to execute another one next week. Fingers crossed.
Nice.
Awesome.
so I have a
That's a
question.
good one. I like the
Basically,
idea. It's very very cool.
Mash has a question. Hold on.
yeah. So I remember there were remixes being made in the earlier year as well, like Akbar, Akhtar, all these guys used to do remixes like Akbar did Jalwa. But
Mhm.
actually, what I feel that the age of remixes started when you started remixes and all those tracks started coming with DJ NYK with that female voice, and it changed.
NYK.
Yeah. So
अरे चिढ़ाओ मत यार.
no, 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 no. I think
No,
that
no,
played a
no, that is
crazy
that you
role.
don't know,
It
man. You that name tag is because of you. You have to like accept it.
yeah,
मतलब,
yeah.
there is
So
no where it's due. It's because of you that we see all
that
these
era
other.
started because of you. That era.
But there was a
So
reason why
that
I used to tag the mixes.
Because
You
why?
people
were
used to
not
pass
DJ
it
at
off
that
as
time?
their own.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay, 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 okay.
So, but I think it
Yeah, and
helps you build your brand image as well. So
I remember like it was like your name was one of the first few names that people spoke about. They didn't know who you were, but they were playing your remixes.
Mhm.
Although
Yeah.
I never really got into the Bollywood space. Yeah, I played a little bit of Hindi like in the early days in the 90s, but
Oh.
after that I had moved into a different sound. But I remember when everybody was talking about like Hindi remixes, they would always talk about you, but when I'd ask them like, okay, so who's this guy, and nobody knew who you
And
were.
nobody
It
knew.
was
Yeah,
just
yeah,
it was just a name, and you had your your the vocal
man, and not just that.
watermark on it.
I tell you an example. I would play the original Ignix track, and people would come and tell me, "Stop the original. Can you play the NYK remix to it?"
Wow.
I
Hmm.
remember shiny disco balls and tracks like those. And FR,
Oh,
if I play an
you do
original, they'll
remember
say,
those? Wow. That was like really
yeah,
long time back.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Because I was playing in Devils at that time, and there also, DJs would come and like tell you to play that NYK remix and all that. So it was like, yeah, it was a big thing. And actually, I thought that you were from Bombay at
But
that
I,
time. Later on, I think I realized that.
a lot of people thought actually I'm from Bombay, and then I used to feel a little offended कि यार और DJ दिल्ली से नहीं हो सकते क्या यार? Why do I? They used to announce it on the mic in front of me. DJ
What?
NYK all the way from Mumbai. मैं सर भाई मैं दिल्ली से हूँ यार.
Yeah,
Their
I
like
don't
question.
we
know.
say,
ऐसा क्यों
DJ skip from
perception है?
Chennai. Like we
Yeah,
always
yeah.
say,
People
DJ
think
skip from
I'm from
Chennai.
Chennai. I don't know why.
Because of
I
me.
don't
No,
even
but
look like I'm
Skip
from Chennai.
Skipto has lived in Chennai, na?
Yeah, he has.
Yeah, I've lived in Chennai. But
So,
anyway, Nick, you were always in Bombay. Basically, from Poison, you just shifted base, or what? Like you
Anyway,
were in
I've always
Delhi.
lived in Delhi, bro. I've always lived in Delhi. In 2017, I moved to Mumbai. I set up a
Oh,
studio
that's
there.
quite late. Yeah.
So now I keep bouncing between Delhi and Mumbai.
Hmm.
Nice. I think there are some
so
questions now.
yes, yes, yes. Rudy asks if you use HID mode often.
Which Rudy is this? Chennai Rudy.
Rudy Bajaj.
Oh yeah.
Rudy.
I don't know. Do you use HID mode? Yeah, I also want to know how do you play, man. That's a good question.
I'm actually playing on Serato now. Serato,
Oh,
yes,
HID.
time code. Yeah. So
Oh,
Nice.
do
HID
you
is
use
a thing called.
you use time code TV or you use HID mode?
There's a thing called Serato Club Kit,
Mm-hmm.
where you just
Yeah,
have to
but
plug
do
a
you use
USB into the mixer. Yes, of course, the time code is of course needed.
You should definitely try the HID mode, bro. I think
Sometime.
that will really change a lot of things. So there's a thing called
Okay.
HID mode. You will be surprised what it can do.
Okay.
Trust me.
HID mode is fun. Yeah, and
Yeah,
come
Yeah,
but
it's
I
the
super
but
fun.
I think with the new Series A3000s, you might want to start leaving your laptop at home.
I was about to say
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
New CDJ
You'll love it.
it's absolutely incredible.
Actually, I haven't
Uh,
found time to check it out yet. So
Yeah, you
You
should.
should definitely see them. It's they are made for people like they for touring
Who
DJs. I
know
think
their music.
3000 kind of solves a lot of problems, especially big venues.
क्या है इसमें
we've
ऐसा?
got a
What's the most amazing feature it has, according to you?
I
I
think
mean,
for me,
That is
it's
going to change the game.
so. I mean, for me, the Series A3000 is just like the next evolution of CDJs and performance. Obviously we have a like a larger screen. It's brighter. It obviously shows more information, and the
Okay.
browsing and the searching and the track matching is
Mhm.
almost the same as what it is on a laptop. It actually is the same. It just
yeah.
represents slightly differently.
So
But if you connect it to a Nexus 2 mixer and your mixer is also connected to a network, you can actually just You don't even have to load the track. If you want to hear what the track is like, you can just click on the waveform of the track in the playlist and just scrub your finger to like scrub through the track and like, see whether this is the track you want to play. So you don't have to load the track. And then when you
Okay.
have a track playing, if you
Mhm.
don't know what the end is like, you can actually hit Q link on your mixer and then just touch the end of the track, and only that section plays on your headset while
Headphones.
while the track is actually playing,
That's
in
cool.
real time to the club. That's
That's
like one of
nice.
the most powerful features for me. Then
Hmm.
obviously the refined looping, the refined beat jumps, and
Hmm.
the key sync. The key sync plus key changes
So
and the eight
basically, I
hot
think
cues.
no, bro. I think Nick would be the feature that would be really like helpful is the bigger screen, because now what you can do with the HID mode, you can just like put the laptop on the side.
Hmm.
You
But
don't
my
even have to
point,
look
bro,
for
my point
track
is you
name.
don't need a laptop. My point is you
No,
don't
no,
need a
because
laptop.
these are article videos, bro. Right?
For
Hmm.
videos maybe, yeah.
Yeah. So
For
basically,
sure.
you don't need the laptop screen at all. It can actually be
Hmm.
on the side, niche, like you can just whatever, and
Hmm.
on the screen because it's so big. For me,
Hmm.
the biggest thing was because I want to see a lot of tracks at the same time, right?
Hmm.
And this kind of just does that for you, and I feel that's a really big plus.
Yeah,
Yeah.
plus nitty-gritty small things like
Hmm.
stacked waveforms, not one, two, three, four following each other. So
Yeah.
you got a
Matt is saying something.
waveform. Yeah, Mash.
Mash has a question.
I have another question. Sorry, man, I'm in the wrong place at the wrong time, so unfortunately I have to keep myself muted. But my question is, when you're doing a gig, maybe a club gig or a festival gig, uh, do you play other people's remixes or you try and stick to your own, or
Of course,
do you make
I
separate
actually
remixes?
actually play other DJs' music more than my own stuff, which used to be different when I started out.
Okay,
So this happened at the Poison gig that I mentioned, the first gig that I performed in Mumbai, and I was very young. I had no experience of touring as a guest DJ, so I just kept performing back to back my remixes, because that
So
those
did
days
you
I
feel
had a
the
lot of
pressure
time
of
to produce music.
did you feel the pressure to play your
Back
own music, or what was it like? In your head, you're like, okay, I should be known for my music, and that's why they are here for it, something like that, or
that time it just came naturally to me because I was more of a producer than a DJ, and I had no other
Right.
responsibilities on my shoulders. So I was producing so much. So I had so much of content, so much of music to play, my own.
Hmm.
So I had my own exclusives. So that's the mistake that I was doing back then. So after the show, like I said, I made a lot of mistakes. So Akhil Bhai was kind enough to tell me, don't play all your remixes back to back. कि थोड़ा तू और भी उसमें कुछ बजा.
Hmm.
So हाँ उसके बाद से so now I'm at a stage where I play other DJs music more than my own remixes.
You have
Nice.
one more question.
Yes, yes, Mash.
Okay, now considering other DJs and producers from your league, most of them have eventually stepped up in doing official remixes for Bollywood. Where have you have stayed away from it for quite a long time, and like if you go see Cheta officially remixing other things, is that something you don't want to step into, or you've deliberately stayed away from it and stuck to your own thing, or what was the reason?
I've done decent amount of official remixes. I've done around 19 movies. So almost every year I keep doing a couple of official remixes. But the thing is that I feel they don't bring it the kind of mileage that it used to. Because nowadays people just want good music. They don't care what label is it on, whether it's an official remix
Hmm.
or whether it's
Hmm.
bootleg. If
Right.
it's good music, they'll consume it. So yeah, it's not a priority as such. But if something comes up, then I definitely do it.
Okay.
Interesting.
so you don't chase it basically.
No, not at all.
Hmm.
It's all about
Yeah.
YouTube now. Yeah. It's all about making your own content, your own channel, having your own fan base, having your own listeners.
Hmm.
So talking about listeners, uh, your podcast is a pretty big thing. Uh, the and you've done a huge number, right? Like the I think it's
Numbers aren't
called
that
NYK.
huge, but it's been around for a long time.
Yeah,
It's its
uh,
11th year now, but
yeah,
I've done
and
only 16 episodes.
no, but there was this thing. I think I you were doing some kind of radio thing in Dubai or something, which was really popular there. Is it the same
Radio
thing?
thing, the radio show, I started the radio show in 2010. I was 94.3
What's the
my
name
FM,
of
so I was
that
doing my radio
show?
show. Sorry?
What was the name of that show?
Uh, rock,
NYK, what
rock the party.
NYK? It had
That
something,
that was
something NYK
that was
party.
rock the
So, something
party,
like that.
and on my FM 94.3. But that was back in the days, 2009, I think. Then I was doing a radio show, Saturday Night Fever, on Fever 104 FM. That was in Delhi. That was from
Yeah,
2017 to 2019. So those were two radio shows that I did. But then the podcast was born out of radio shows only because I was listening to a lot of artists like
yeah.
Tiesto, Armin van Buuren.
The pool
They
you had such a
run their
big
own
pool.
radio shows. Yes. So
Hmm.
I always felt, कि Bollywood के लिए ऐसा नहीं है. So
हाँ.
that's how the podcast happened. And that's again, वही Bollywood के लिए कुछ करने के लिए हमेशा मुझे बाहर से inspiration मिल जाती है. I should, you know,
So
amalgamate
एक
sounds.
quick question ये आता है कि जब आप when you were doing this radio shows, you never got into copyright issues because you
Got
were
into
playing
what?
bootlegs, right?
Got
Copyright
into
issues
trouble?
because you're
No,
playing.
because FM stations, they have the rights, no? They pay the labels for whatever
So
music
you
that you're
can do
playing.
bootlegs in FM radios. There's no problem there.
Correct. Yes. Yes.
Oh,
But
that I
in
didn't know. Man, did you know
but थोड़ा
that?
सा
I
पीछे
didn't know.
सालों में there was a little problem. Sometimes licensing
हाँ.
issues होते हैं. Like Fever FM didn't have a tie with Z Music, I think. So I was not allowed to play anything from Z Music.
So you were not really playing on the fly. You're giving them a list and then you're playing.
No, I'm making my set, but they've already told me that you should not use any songs from Z Music because we don't
Yeah,
have
okay.
a licensing tie-up with them. So I would leave those tracks and make my set.
Man.
Cool.
Got it.
There's a question now.
Excellent. I've got a question.
Time for the question from other people. Okay? So
Yeah, I can see one on my
XLR,
screen. XLR.
XLR, the question has partially been answered, I believe. He says, any thoughts on releasing original music, being a producer? You're already a good DJ, rest of your remixes. Speak. Have you ever put a thought in making original music?
I've made a lot of original music, bro. I've shot music
You've made
videos
a
in
lot of
Spain.
original music, man.
I've shot music videos in Tallinn. Those are all originals. Go check it
That's
out
what.
on YouTube. There was a track called Wild
Okay.
Horses. Then there was Remember You. And I even made a couple of original tracks back in 2009 when nobody was
You were there in
doing it. When it
Beatport
was a
charts,
big thing to release on
Beatport
Beatport.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were, that was
So
the thing,
I
you were there in Beatport house charts as well.
Yeah,
अरे
so I
skip
started really
मचा
early, but
आपका
then
आवाज
because of my
clear नहीं है
Bollywood career, the originals took a backseat then. But then from 2015, I've again got into original productions. But remixes is
So
something
any
that I cannot
future
leave.
releases? Any future releases in the pipeline?
Oh, yes, yes. But I'm focusing more on Hindi originals now rather than English. In the yesteryears,
Nice.
I've released more English originals, but now I want to focus more on Hindi originals because actually, since my childhood, I always wanted to become a music director.
Oh,
Lovely.
nice.
So that's where I want to head now.
So
So,
Vivian Anthony in from Bombay wants to know if you remember him.
Vivian.
He's Vivian Anthony. Okay, and
Yes, I do. Yes, I. Yeah.
and Skip, before you ask more questions, let me just browse through.
Mash has a question. Mash has a question.
Yeah. I
Uh,
remember meeting you at Palms Expo last year,
Mhm.
and
Last
you
to
had
last.
specially come to see the last, and you had specially come to see Record Box Lighting Console.
Uh-huh.
And I remember you briefly told me that you're working on a big arena show for to
Yeah.
fill up a stadium. So how's that going, and what are the plans for that?
Still working on the business side of things because you have an idea, but to execute it,
Yeah.
yeah, you need to be very organized and you need a big team. You need a lot of finances. You need basically the business side of things. So it's not easy. In fact, I've been trying to execute it for the last 8 years. Somehow उसका छोटा सा जो major vision है उसको थोड़ा सा I have accomplished in form of electronic show that I perform at college festivals. But then there's a specific tech rider for that. But when I give it to the college team, so when I go for the performance, the setup is something else. So I want to do
You
the
get
concert
paid.
on my own.
You get like
Like when
so
the
paid.
first-
क्या मांगा था और क्या दे रहे हो?
Correct. So the vision is that I want to host the whole concert where I do the production myself,
nice.
so that the things are in my control, so that
Nice.
the
That
vision,
makes
the
sense.
original vision, it reaches its logical end.
So
Can
Pioneer
I tell you one of
DJ
my
internationally
experiences?
has an association with the TC Electronics, and they have this thing called show control.
Yes,
And show
you
control
should
is
definitely. I
basically
think I
for
told you about that.
clubs, for arenas, and for personal usage as well.
Hmm.
So for
Hmm.
clubs, if you're using a CDJ, what was it? I think 201 setup, V10, C2000 Nexus, to basically anything with the Pro DJ link these days, you can just send all the entire information to the FOH, and
Mm-hmm.
somebody who's handling the pyro, the lightings, etc. for you, they
So I'm
will
still
see the exact.
finding a person who is really good at light design. If you know someone,
Okay.
please do let me
Casey,
know.
bro,
Yes.
Casey.
Casey, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, from
Casey
Please
is
Bangalore.
introduce
very
me to
good.
Casey.
Yeah, he is the go-to person, man. He's the guy who does A.R. Rahman's shows. I
Okay.
don't
Okay,
think you can
okay,
get somebody bigger than him.
okay.
More questions. There are so many questions pending. Skip. No more questions, please, Shusha.
I just want to tell
What
you
is?
I want to tell you one experience that I had. I was playing in a club and I asked for a mixer and they gave me a mixer without a crossfader.
What?
You
Which
asked
is
for a
they
mixer.
asked
You
me
didn't
for a
ask for a
7-volt
crossfader
material.
mixer.
How
So
did you
when
manage then?
you
कुछ नहीं मैं फिर आप फिर से scratch किया. Then I gave them. So basically, I gave them the mixer back with a broken up fader.
okay, Rohan has asked a question in all capitals. What? Let me speak now the way he types. What is the concept behind the electronic show? Please tell.
So
I
the
was going to
concept,
ask you the same question. You know, Electro Nick NYK in the end. That was what I was asking. That's the podcast I was asking about. Is that the one which has got 16 episodes? Is it the same thing?
yes, yes. So electronics,
Yeah.
like kind of the
Yeah.
brand, and the person who named it is also in the chat. His name is Mark Wright. He was the one who
Ah,
Hmm.
executed
thank you,
that
sir.
phrase called electronic. So yes,
Perfect. Hey,
it's a
Mark.
podcast, and there's an academy also called Electronic Academy,
Yes.
and then we
Yes.
have an electronic show. So that's like the
Much
brand, and
better.
Do
then
you
it has the
do you want to
branches.
talk about your academy here? We would love to know about that as well.
Why not? बताओ क्या
Yeah,
बताऊं?
please tell us about where is it, and it's a good time to
So
plug it in.
I've just moved it to Noida now. It's in Sector 46, so it has a bigger space. I'm still working on the interiors. So yes, it's not operational yet. So अभी more info because अभी मैं Zoom पे ही classes ले रहा हूँ for production. DJing
Yeah.
classes अभी नहीं हो
If
सकती
someone wants
because
to join,
sorry.
they can get in touch with you directly.
Yeah, they can write on the email electronicacademy@gmail.com, or they can check out the website also electronicacademy.com.
Yeah.
Jayant has a question. Do you, Mr. NYK, do you think when you are playing and suddenly console stops working, what do you do?
What do I do? What am I supposed to do? कुछ नहीं कर सकते. You just freeze and just look around. What the fuck happened?
Just point at the equipment.
No, yeah, we do this.
Yeah, I don't know.
Drum has a question. Do you think via Spotify, EDM scene can take over Indian market?
EDM
Why
scene?
through Spotify? I mean, why
Hmm.
only through Spotify?
I mean, I think visuals are the way right now, and YouTube is doing better than any other platform. Facebook videos, not so much. What do you think?
EDM in general is growing every year. I mean, I don't know. Spotify has a role to play or not. Spotify, where you have everything.
Right.
But I think
Uh,
YouTube is a bigger platform for sure.
yeah. With
It's
all
On
these,
vast.
Spotify, you discover a lot of new music through playlists.
Mm.
When you discover
true.
the same happens on YouTube also. You get suggested
But
videos, so you discover a lot of
I
music from
think
there as well.
Apple is doing a better job in localizing the content on Apple Music when compared to. That's my
I
personal opinion.
honestly haven't tried Apple at all.
Okay.
I only use Apple. I've given up on Spotify.
I love
Why?
YouTube. I love
ऐसा
YouTube
क्या हुआ?
music.
Mhm.
Please
I
let us
love
know what
YouTube as
happened
well.
there.
I don't know. I just didn't like the way like Spotify works, and half the music is not available.
Is it?
Yeah. Compared to Apple Music, it has a lot less of the
So
music that
Skip,
I listen to. So
Okay. Okay.
guys, Skip is stuck. If somebody wants to take a screenshot, let me put him in the send
I'll
chat.
take it. Done. कल से मीम कंटेंट आएगा इस पे.
Okay, question. Rohan is asking. He's definitely a biggest fan because he's asked us to request you to join us so many times, at least on the past three streams.
yeah,
So he's asking you which is your favorite controller.
कंट्रोलर से मैंने यूज ही नहीं करे रोहन. So I don't have a favorite. I play on
Pratik
the
Singh
CDJs.
says hello from the floor above.
Hello, Mr. Pratik. How are you?
And Clement has a question for you coming through Roshan. It is,
Coming through Roshan. Okay.
yeah. Do you still own a Lexus?
I never had a Lexus, bro. ये कहाँ से फेक न्यूज मिली है?
I think you have Audi, right? Audi or Audi? You have Audi.
I have a BMW, bro, not Audi.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah,
Nice.
I remember now.
Which one?
One or two.
But I didn't always had a BMW. I had a motorcycle, Hero Honda Splendor. That's where the journey began. Then I had a Wagoner. Then things kept improving. By God's grace
Nice.
and my fans' support, now I drive a BMW.
Fantastic.
that's awesome.
Fantastic. Oh, okay. Abhishek is asking, what is inspired to become EDM producer? Maybe, I think we've discussed this. What was your inspiration?
Yeah,
But
Music
we didn't.
itself,
But there must have been some artists that you were looking up to back then.
of course, Abel Van Buren, Tiesto, they were my
Right.
early influences. But back in the 90s, I would say Darude, Sandstorm.
Hmm. Sandstorm. The one
Yes.
of the most twisted music videos ever.
I actually haven't seen the video.
yeah, neither have
I'll definitely check it out now.
I.
You should check out the music videos. Nothing that's happening in that makes sense. Nothing.
Okay.
There's a guy running, he has a suitcase. In the next shot, the suitcase is on, guy is still running. And then the scene after that, the guy again has a suitcase.
But the 90s videos,
We're all
had
like
more
that.
depth than the music videos now.
Yeah, for Chemical Brothers,
True.
Hey Boy, Hey Girl also.
Of course, of course. Chemical
Amazing.
Brothers.
Sir, uh, ever played wrong cue button during performance?
A lot of times.
Lot of times.
Yeah,
That's everyone.
everyone.
Okay, there's so many names. Hello to everybody in general, Deepak, Anjan, Sayan.
I
I'll
have
just
to say
quickly put
something.
these.
I thought that you will be like a thoda, more like that, but you're very so calm
Yeah,
and all.
Anjan.
He's giving such a very calm energy. So it's like the image that you have with like the music and the person is like there's a huge difference
The
because
difference.
yeah, there's a big difference. As in, uh,
Very, very balanced personality, I think. I would say.
yeah. I have to say that you're very
Sometimes
calm. You're
even
giving out very
like,
calm energy.
एक बार एयरपोर्ट पे ऐसे हुआ था कि आई एम ऑल्सो वेरी शॉर्ट, आई एम 5 फुट 3 इंचेस. तो फ्लायर्स में फोटोज आती हैं, शूट्स में अच्छे लंबा दिखता हूँ. तो उन्हें देख के कहा, अरे ये इतना ही है, इतना ही है. दे वर लाइक जैप्ड कि ये क्या हुआ,
Ouch.
फोटो में तो लंबा लगता है.
Skip, it's a balanced personality, but the tech rider always says 2 bottles of black label.
ब्रो दैट वाज आल्सो एजेस अगो.
For
अभी
every gig.
आपकी अपडेट नहीं हुई है न्यूज़. I quit drinking in
अभी
2016.
डॉम करीनो हो गया. अभी डॉम करीनो हो गया होगा.
नहीं, अभी सिर्फ पानी ब्रो, पानी और रेड बुल. I've quit drinking.
Nice,
Nice.
nice.
Um, Shayan, happy Puja to you too. Anjan is asking, how has this journey been with Pioneer and now Pioneer DJ? And where do you see the technology growing
I
for
think that no,
mixers
that
industry?
question is for me.
Actually,
That
Oh,
question is for
oh,
me. He said that later.
oh yeah. Sorry, sorry.
Anjan, we'll discuss that later, man. Tonight's about
Yes,
NYK.
yes, we
you
will
can
do
answer
that.
it, bro. It's fine.
Right?
It's
No,
quite
we'll take it
a
some other time, bro. I'm really
yeah. We'll
sorry.
take yeah.
Yeah, we don't make it
Yeah.
about ourselves, except for me. Okay. Shafin is asking, which was your biggest audio video show?
That was Dubai World Trade Center
Dubai.
and
Yeah.
Magma Arena in Spain. Those were the biggest
Wow.
Wow.
ones.
How,
Nice.
when were these?
Uh, Dubai World Trade Center was in 2010, and Magma Arena was 2015, and then I again went back in 2017. Same venue.
Wow. Definitely want to visit there once.
Bro, what is the piece of tech you're into now? Like what technology excites you now?
In what, like production
Performance, engine.
performance?
Yeah, both.
So basically, that's what I said. I'm lacking in lighting sphere. That's why I was asking you if you know someone, because I want to synchronize the whole show as well, without giving my,
Yeah.
letting go of my freedom to mix whatever I want. Usually, when it's a time-coded show, then
Hmm.
you're stuck with
Everything is
the
yes.
originals. You cannot change the set list. So that's what I'm trying to figure out. But I think your show time say I think we can do that,
Yeah.
like Nishank
Yeah.
mentioned.
Totally.
Yeah,
And
100%.
production-wise, what is the new exciting plugin or something that you
Every
like
month, bro, something new comes in production. It's a very fast-moving industry. A lot of tech
industry? Yeah.
every month. New plugins, new softwares,
Hmm.
new techniques, new tutorials.
Do you
So did
master
you?
What do you
your
use to make
sets
music?
yourself?
Sorry, Mash, दोबारा बोलना.
Mash?
No, no. I was saying which software do you use?
I use Ableton now. I started with the Cubase. No, rather started with FL Studio when I was in school, but
Hmm.
I was just playing around back then. But professionally, when I started producing, was Cubase, rewired with Reason and Ableton. I did that for about 10 years, and then I completely now have moved to Ableton
Any particular reason you've moved to Ableton?
because of collaborations. Because everyone is either using FL Studio or Ableton now. Not they're not
Hmm.
very handful of producers who use Cubase now. So I thought
Hmm.
Hmm.
you
Yeah.
gotta move with the changing times. So I made the switch.
Hmm.
Also, Ableton has the best multi-core VST support out there.
It's really good. I
Yeah.
mean, you can do a lot of live stuff also
True.
with
True.
live Ableton. Then you can
So much of
produce also.
hardware is coming with the out-of-the-box compatibility with Ableton. No
Hmm.
need to map or anything. I
In
mean,
fact, I'm learning
it's
now
been
the live looping thingy.
oh
I've
nice.
had the controller for 10 years, but I never used it for like a live Ableton performance. So I'm just trying to figure out that out now because अभी काफी pick हो गया वो live looping वाले videos and that trend.
Right.
Because I
Right.
was always thinking what we as producers or DJs can do in the short form content, जैसे TikTok पे. I've kept wondering कि हम क्या करें? We cannot dance, we cannot sing. That's stupidity for us. So क्या करें? So I felt we can do something like this, where we can showcase like a live remix or a live performance with the MIDI controllers. What do you guys
Nash,
think
ask your question.
Uh,
I
Oh,
think
so sorry.
I think I
for
think
short
it's
format
a
content?
good it has to be quick. That's the only thing. Like, but I feel that if you can do a quick solo or something, that makes sense. And a quick light show can make
Because
sense. Like anything which is like
15 seconds
boom
is like
out.
too less because right now we don't have TikTok
Too
now in
less.
India. So it's only
Yeah,
Instagram, the Reels, which allows you only 15
yeah,
seconds.
yeah,
There's not much actually you can do in 15 seconds. That's too quick.
yeah.
yeah, that's too short.
A lot of Indian men will disagree.
What?
It's 15 second is too short.
Acha.
He's talking out of experience, that's why.
How do you know? It's true. It's true. My performances are 15 seconds. Please, if you'd like to check them out, give me a holler.
I I remember Nishank paid for an hour and for 59 minutes and 30 seconds he was playing piano.
I did not get that. I wish I could, but okay. अपना question पूछो अब चुपचाप. Mash has a question.
What all brands you're endorsing now? हाँ, क्या कर रहा हूँ मैं? कभी-कभी मैं खुद ही भूल जाता हूँ मैं कर क्या रहा हूँ। So yesterday I've done some clothing brands also, and tech में I was doing VModa,
Oh,
and
nice.
एक सेकंड मैं वेबसाइट खोल के देखता हूँ बायो में क्या लिखा है, मैं भूल जाता हूँ. No, I'm not doing that literally. So
We were actually waiting.
Are you still with VModa?
no, no, not.
Interesting. So
Oh,
what
that's good
headphones are
then.
you using these days?
What
No, I
headphones?
remember. I remember when he was with VModa, he actually came and asked me for Pioneer headphones at a gig because he hated VModa.
Back then, initially yes, I was very uncomfortable making that switch because I was either using Pioneer or Sennheiser.
So
Right.
Nishant,
So the
I think
initial
you should
switch,
give
the
him one.
change is always difficult. But now I cannot use any other headphone. No, not because I endorsed it, but
Hmm.
literally I really loved it.
Because you've gotten used to it.
Yeah, I did.
Nice.
Happens.
It is a personal choice after all. I mean, we shouldn't even we as a brand we don't force Pioneer DJ headphones on anyone. A because the older generation had a very bad reputation to be honest, and they used to break. We all know that.
And none of
Uh,
my headphones have broken actually, Pioneer. I still have those. I
oh,
have
Yeah,
all my Pioneer
neither of
headphones.
mine.
huh.
It
I
was only the
mean,
first copies that broke
Mine
that
have
came
been
from Thailand.
great.
Kaun sa?
Only the first copies broke that came from Thailand for 4,000 rupee, I guess.
actually,
And
there's another thing now. There's a home audio division that also manufactures headphones under Pioneer brand name. So those were
Hmm.
coming from a different factory, and because this DJ brand and that brand were closely tied up together. Now, though, they are completely separate. Now it's Alpha Theta now, not even Pioneer DJ anymore. So over a period of time, a lot of things have improved. So have I'm sure everybody's improving their products as well. I haven't checked out a VModa in the past 3 years. So yeah, definitely have to check them out now.
अरे ब्रो याद आया I was endorsing Antelope
Antelope
Ultra
Audio.
Oh,
Oh,
Acoustics.
that's a
अभी मैंने वेबसाइट पे चेक
yo.
किया.
those
That's a
sound
They,
cards
good
are
they,
brand.
really good, right?
which
Very,
ones?
very good.
The sound Antelope Audio sound cards are
अरे
really,
it's
really good.
excellent. It's excellent. उसका थोड़ा routing is very tricky,
Hmm.
but yes, of course, a big plus. It's like the Rolls Royce of sound
Yeah.
cards.
Yeah.
Right. So tell me, were you ever into vinyls and performing with vinyls?
I wish I tried a
Okay.
lot कि मैं सीख पाऊँ. I had a brief
Right.
lesson in Dubai. Uh, some DJs were playing. We were at an after party. So वो थोड़ा
Right.
सा वही मुझे एक chance मिला जहाँ फिर I could learn. Otherwise, I didn't get an opportunity to learn, to be honest.
Right.
So I don't know how to play on vinyls, sadly. And
Okay.
people back in
No,
the days would usually tell me, तू असली DJ नहीं है. If you don't know how to play on vinyls, you're not a DJ.
आज भी यही बोलते हैं. Nothing has
अच्छा,
changed on
Yeah.
that side.
still अभी it's
Yeah.
better
And
now
and
at least
and the people
because
and the
अब
people who
controllers का दिन है. Controllers
and the
का
people who say it the most are people who have just started. Like they would have put their hand on the turntable
vinyls.
once, and they say, "Oh yeah, now I can play on vinyl." Because the real vinyl DJs don't even talk about it. Like we just
Yeah.
it's
Correct,
just there.
correct.
True.
Is this? I think is
And
what comes out of the speaker matters the most here.
Hmm.
But it's a skill I'd love to acquire. I would love to learn vinyls.
so let's know what is your favorite VST that you're using these days?
VSTs, basic है bro. Almost sub producers almost same ही VSTs use करते. There's Serum, there's Nexus, there's Silent. Yeah, it is pretty much the industry standard. Then there's
So
Omnisphere.
y-
Right.
your mixes have always been great. So if you want to give someone a mixing tip, like an audio mixing tip, what would that be?
That would be adjusting the volumes. Mixing is all about,
Hmm.
handling your faders. It's not about compression and using all those fancy plugins. Those are just tools. But basically, mixing, if you want to have a good mix, then you just adjust the volumes. That's the most important thing. But people overdo it and overcomplicate things.
So yeah, I remember I wanted to ask this question to you before Skip interrupted me. Uh, that do you mix and master
I'm
your tracks?
excited, man. What can I do?
Mix and master, yes, yes, bro.
This
I
is
Yeah.
do it on my own.
And for
this is
since
like
how
I've
long have you
made
been
so
doing it?
much.
Hey, Skip. Since how long have you been doing it yourself? Since
Since the beginning,
beginning?
bro. Since the beginning.
Wow.
So
I'm
the
still
mixes that you
learning new
played, they were
patterns.
like done by you, as in from the masters were also done by you. Like you
Only
didn't
the
master.
English originals that I released, they were mastered abroad.
Hmm. The
Otherwise,
bootlegs were done
everything.
by you, but they sounded tight, man, at that time.
So, like I said,
Nice.
thank you very much. But वही मैं बता रहा हूँ
No,
bro.
they did. They sounded like at par. They were like
It's
at
all
par
about
with like any
mixing.
club track.
It's all about
Hmm.
how you mix the track and what elements do you use in your mix. The kind of kick drum you use, the kind of bass preset you use. That makes a lot of difference. अगर आपका वही गलत है तो no matter how much time you spend on your mixing and mastering, it won't sound great. So programming
Oh,
also plays a very important role in selecting your samples that you're choosing.
nice, nice. Thanks a lot for the tip.
Nice. Awesome. I didn't even realize that we've spent over 50 minutes already. Time has
क्या बात
And
करें?
I
flown.
still have, and I still have so many questions left.
हाँ हाँ पूछो.
You,
चलो
Skip
पूछो.
is
नहीं मैंने
Skip
पूछ
is
रहा.
allowed only 4 questions per stream.
Yeah. These guys shut me, bro. Like जब भी मैं कुछ बोलता हूँ तो बोलते हैं, नहीं ये कुछ नहीं बोलेगा. See,
नहीं
the thing
नहीं
is that I
गुस्सा मत
get
हो
really
bro.
excited about things.
हाँ हाँ please. Go ahead, go ahead. Ask bro.
No, I want to ask about technology only. Like at that time, during the whole post your the DVJ thing, when you moved to videos, how was the transition and did it take time? Because obviously DVDs को video convert करने में time लगता है, ये वो all that stuff, you know. So
Yes.
how was that transition like? And did you take like a break and all that, you know, all these things?
I'm actually trying to recall. I don't even remember when that transition happened. I moved to Serato Video plugin, right? So I didn't have to carry the equipment
Yeah.
anymore. So that made my life a lot easier.
Did
Just
resolution
one.
play a big role?
Which one?
Like Nishank actually asked you a question which kind of like got mixed. He asked what was the resolution that you were playing it at that time? Because DVD का resolution कम होता होगा ना?
बहुत कम था. I can't.
640 480
I
videos.
don't remember.
Clips were all 640 480.
Yeah, and now you're doing HD videos, right?
I'll tell you something, because I was not
Yeah,
editing
640.
those videos myself.
Yeah, it was all
Okay.
640
I had an
480
editing
and
team.
800 600.
Yeah, it wasn't HD. I think it was SD. SD वाला
Yeah,
format.
Standard
SD
standard
format.
definition.
They were all SD formats.
SD
Standard definition.
formats. So then उसके बाद तो वही because basic textual जो edits होते हैं जैसे जिसमें where I only have to use visuals and maybe some typography that I can do on my own. वो मैं करता भी था, अभी भी करता हूँ. But majority of the content where you have to synchronize the footage and you have to make your lip sync, that's handled by my team of editors.
Nice. Okay.
So the transition में इतना, I can't seem to recall if there were any challenges as such.
Yeah, I just wanted to know whether it was tough to move to something like that. Did you face the problems of your computer overheating, shutting down in the middle of the show
Yes,
and all that stuff?
Of course.
What was the did you come with a backup plan always? What was the protocol?
So I think the initial versions of Serato jo the, they were very stable. So that didn't trouble me much.
Correct.
And then when Serato DJ came, and I think I was using a 2015 MacBook, उसमें major heating issues हो रहे थे. And then if I'm performing at a concert, heated area है, उसमें circulation नहीं है, fan नहीं है, AC नहीं है. So then it used to start heating up and my visuals would start getting sluggish, audio would start skipping. So then that got resolved when I moved to a newer MacBook. Things got better. But heating issues are of course there.
I had a similar issue with the MacBooks, but it turned out that I just needed to open up the MacBook and clean out all the dust and everything was fine after that.
Yeah.
Oh, but which MacBook was that?
We're in 20, no? So 2014, no, 13 and then 17.
Sometimes though you have to change.
अभी थोड़ा सा problem देने लगे हैं because something recently, another thing that I discovered was कि जो light है from your,
that's also hot. Yeah. Parkins.
Hot का पता नहीं, but you have that touch panel on your MacBook, right? You need to switch that off. उसमें कुछ sensors हैं, I don't know what. That also makes your music sluggish.
Parkins, top Parkins and strobes.
Yeah.
So if they
So,
fall on your laptop touchpad, no,
right.
MacBook, you have that touchpad on the top.
Yeah.
Yeah, strip. Yeah.
So there's some sensors over there.
Mm-hmm.
So you need to keep your touchpad static. There are two options, right, on your touchpad.
Mm.
Hmm.
एक
Yeah,
तो ये
yeah.
जो normal जो पुराने MacBooks में आता था, so you have to keep that. If you're using the other touchpad function, उसमें it creates
Okay.
problem with Serato when you're playing live.
Oh, I never heard of that before.
Yeah, so I've disabled that now. I have the old touchpad only.
Okay.
Mash is
Mash
asking your
has
favorite Indian DJ.
questions.
Favorite Indian DJ? वैसे मैं झूठ नहीं बोलूँगा. Mash Paji, it's you. I still remember that gig Saturday
ये
night.
मैच
नहीं
को पता था,
सच्ची.
ये आंसर यही है.
No,
मैच
no,
को
but
पता था, ये आंसर यही है.
that was the greatest set I've ever heard.
Nothing
उस दिन
like
मैं I
it.
was on the other side of the console, partying with my friends, and even Pratik would vouch for it. What I'm saying, जो आपने set बजाया था उस दिन, a massive balance of Bollywood with. I still remember you played a mix of Eric Prydz piano. Yeah, see, ये देख लो.
Oh.
Me and only me. What is he saying? Pratik Singh.
That he's your favorite DJ.
So yes, bro. वो unforgettable night थी. I still remember that one.
Thank you, bro. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Second
आपके साथ
question,
बजाऊंगा.
Bana.
आप मौका दो. मजा आएगा.
करेंगे साथ में करेंगे कुछ करते हैं.
हाँ, do a live stream ना. तो अब तो NCR में
Oh
ही
yeah,
is the
that'll
new
be
hall.
fun.
You can do it some.
हाँ हाँ बताओ यार आप. बताओ
Yeah,
बताओ.
we'll
I'm
do
always
something.
ready.
We'll plan
And
something
Mash
out.
has an amazing backyard now.
We'll
The
definitely.
new place that he's moved to. So
Yeah.
you can do an
किधर?
amazing
किधर हो
in
बro आप दिल्ली
Gurugram.
में?
I would
अच्छा
prefer to go to
गुरुग्राम.
Bombay than he coming to Delhi. Thanks,
So,
bro. I'll be honored to play with you, man. It'll be like
Yes, bro,
an honor.
pleasure would be mine.
No, I remember the first time when I was in Australia from 2000 to 2007, and when I got back, and I was looking for ways to work because I didn't know anybody. So I had mailed him, asking him, "Can I be your manager and try and send you to make some money?" So that was my first mail to him in 2007.
I don't even remember
But I
this.
never got a reply. I can't.
Okay.
I did not get the reply back. So I had heard you at Orkut. I had seen your profile in Orkut,
Orchid.
and I taken your details from there. And yeah, so that's how it was.
Oh, oh.
hmm, so much has
Long,
changed.
Mash
long back.
is, yeah.
So, let's do one thing. This is a perfect time to close this because we have completed an hour,
Yeah.
and it was amazing
Just
though,
flown
to
by.
be honest.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I can't thank you enough,
I didn't ask too much questions on this
Nick.
time.
We we have to start moderating Skip now. But Nixon, thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank
This
you guys.
was
Thanks for having me. It was
our
a lot
It
of
honor
was
to
fun.
you.
great. It was great. Thanks a lot, bro. Thanks
Thanks
a
for
lot.
having me.
Bro,
Thank you.
and bro, I've given you Casey's contact details in the private chat of this stream, so you can
Thank you
connect
so
with
much,
him.
bro. Thanks a lot.
Stick around. So everybody who joined in, thank you so much for joining us today. And hopefully we'll see you next week as well. So ciao ciao, and the broadcast ends now.